Good morning, Wiesbrook Tigers, and it's the official welcome back to the 2020-2021 school year. I'm Brian Trina, principal here at Wiesbrook Elementary School, and I'm so glad you could join us this morning for a glimpse and a view into what will school look like and be like this year. Today, I'm going to focus mainly on a lot of our safety measures, protocols, preventions, and also some of the explicit teaching we'll be doing with our students based upon the routines to ensure that we can all return to Wiesbrook Elementary School in a safe fashion. So first, you'll notice behind, I'm standing by the main entrance. And here we have, before you enter school this year, self-certification will be required before entering. That'll be done, sent out by the school district, labeling all the symptoms that you may exhibit, excuse me, if you were to have COVID-19, and to certify that you don't have any of those so you can ensure that your student and our students can enter school safely on a daily basis at Wiesbrook. Second thing you notice is that in order to enter school, face masks are required. That's a Board of Education adopted policy this year that all students, staff, faculty, and any visitors are required would have to have a face mask. My face mask is here right now, and once we enter the school, I will put on our face mask. Once we enter into the school here, I'll start showing you a couple of the highlights of some of our safety measures, mainly regarding things such as social distancing, 6 foot, and some of the markings that we have in our building, hand washing hygienes and routines, 6 foot spacing between our desks within our classrooms, hand sanitizers in all of our classrooms, and then also some of the sanitizing products that we will have within the classrooms to ensure the safety of students. We'll highlight our hallways and show you how we'll safely social distance within our hallways. Then we'll take you outside and we'll show you a couple of highlights out there of some changes that we have this summer to ensure that students are safe, also have some breaks, and then a pickup drop-off process, some of the changes we have to that to ensure, number one, that students can safely arrive at school and socially distance, and number two, to enhance the safety of everyone during pickup and drop-off at Wiesbrook Elementary School. So welcome. I'm so glad to have you. As you can see, I have our Superheroes Wiesbrook t-shirt here on because I can assure you we've been working like superheroes all summer because we want our little Tigers back here at Wiesbrook. So come on in.
Put your mask on. Apologize for the little bit of a bumpiness as we enter the building, but it'll get smooth once we come on in. Okay.
Okay, as you can see, so if we have any of our students watching here, notice that Tim the Tiger is still here. He's been here all summer. He can't wait to see you. We've missed you. He's been staring out the window all year. He loves when many of you have come in over the summer and have visited him and have waved. And he told me a secret. And don't forget, boys and girls, the principal book of secrets still exists, and Tim the Tiger will still be there safely watching over your shoulders. So rest assured, Tim's well rested and he can't wait to see you all in our building. Now, let's come into our main office. And one of the things I want you to notice are some of the safety measures that are in place as we come in. So if you can see right here on the floor, these tiger paws as you enter in. So it's just like being in a supermarket, like in Jewel. They're spaced 6 foot apart to show people where to stand so we can ensure that social distancing aspect of when you come into the office. So let's come on into the office.
Just a little bumpy for just a second. Thank you for your patience.
Okay, and here's our friend, Will Farrell, to remind us to please socially distance and stay 6 foot apart. If you notice our plexiglass partitions here, that we have 3 of them throughout the office to protect Mrs. K and Mrs. Hamilton here. Mrs. K is over there working very hard. Mrs. K, go ahead and wave and say hi to the Wiesbrook community.
Welcome back, everyone.
As you know, Mrs. Hamilton and Mrs. K have been working feverishly here for the last couple of weeks. So if you see them, please give them a quick thank you or send them an email. They'd love to hear from you, just saying thank you for all the efforts. We couldn't reopen the school without them, and they've been working extremely hard. So there's a couple of our social distancing safety measures here right as you come into school. Now we're going to take you out into our hallways. Got it?
Yeah.
Okay, so as we come down towards our 5th grade hallway, so if you're new to Wiesbrook and a new parent, you don't know what I'm talking about when I say our 5th grade hallway, but it's affectionately known as our 5th grade hallway because it was gifted to us many years ago. Most of our 5th grade classrooms are down this way, but I want to pull your attention to our social distancing measures in the hallway. Right here, you can see there's an orange middle line that goes right along with our universal guidelines for success with our students. Students, if you're watching, you know that we always talk about walk on the white and to the right. So those universal expectations match perfectly with social distancing expectations and safety measures. But you'll see we've added an orange tiger stripe right down the middle. You can also see we have the tiger paws right here to show students where they can stand safely within the hallway. And then notice I have a measuring stick here, 6 feet apart to show that. It's taped together. This stick has been every principal in the United States' best friend this summer. We've spent more time with this stick than you can even imagine. But I show that to you intentionally because the CDC guidelines recommend 6 feet spacing to ensure maximum safety for all of our students. I'll take this along with me. We're going to go down now and show you a classroom to give you a glimpse into the classroom. And as we move here, you can see the Illinois Department of Public Health has sent some signs to all schools in the state of Illinois, just as some safety reminders. Face coverings are required for anyone who's within the building. And as we walk down here, there are additional signs reminding about washing your hands frequently. On the first day of school at our institute, our nurse, Jody Gussain, and this will take place at all District 200 schools, is going to do a hand washing lesson and some hygiene lessons and reminders for all of our staff. And there's also a lesson that she'll preview that staff will push out on the very first day to students. So this is just another reminder. And again, another reminder here of keeping your distance being 6 foot apart. One of the things that we'll use with elementary kids is your arms. If you're not sure, just remember your arms, the length of your arms are usually about 6 feet apart. So it'll be part of our explicit teaching with students starting that first day of school. Okay, so let's come on down. We're gonna go into, this is a 5th grade classroom. It's Bar Hoskins' classroom. If you don't know Miss Hoskins, she always has a theme every year and it's called Hollywood. So I intentionally want to show you this for a couple reasons. Number one, when you walk into the classroom, I want you to notice that it's still a warm and friendly place to be. It'll look very familiar to you from our past classrooms. The only real difference in there is how desks are placed. And I'll highlight that too and show you that when we walk in. So come on in. So the first thing when all students walk in the classroom, they will do, part of our safety protocols, you can see the hand sanitizing station. So they'll walk in, hand sanitize, just like I'm doing right now. So I've touched several things throughout the school to ensure that my hands are clean and sanitized. That's in every classroom. It'll be part of the routine. Now, as we pan around her classroom, first I want you to notice the spacing of the desks. So all desks here are at least 6 feet apart. And these two desks are actually further than 6 feet apart, as you notice with the stick that I'm using. Also on the floor, if you notice right down here, you can see there's a red X. That marks the location of these desks. In some of our classrooms, they placed marks right around like an L around the front. In some classrooms, they actually circled with tape the entire desk, but we have all desks marked to ensure that if they're being cleaned or if students, they're little, they're gonna push on the desk, that we can return them so we are appropriately socially distancing with the 6 foot requirement each and every day. As you come up to the front of the classroom, as part of our safety protocols, we have hand washing stations within our classroom. Those have always been there. We also have, new this year, these are the sanitizing spray and paper towels that will be used on the desk to clean them throughout the day as needed. But every District 200 classroom will have that also. A couple of other things to note within the classroom. You can see up here, this will not be the same in every classroom, but in Ms. Hoskins' classroom, she's numbered the rows, and they'll use that to dismiss students safely and socially distanced. As in the past, they've just lined up. Well, we can't do that this year to ensure that they're 6 feet apart. So it will be structured, it'll become part of the routines within there too. So I just wanted to highlight that too. So hopefully seeing a classroom like this, you can still see that there are new safety protocols put in place. There are explicit expectations that we'll be teaching with our students. It'll still be a warm and friendly place because at Wiesbrook, relationships are at the forefront of everything we do. That will not change in terms of how we work with our children on that too. Couple things of note, I've said this in my newsletters before, just because we're wearing masks and just because desks are 6 feet apart and we do have sanitizing spray in that doesn't define a relationship between a teacher and a student. So that won't change. That'll be first and foremost at the forefront of what we do and work through starting with day one. And that's establishing those positive relationships with our students. So I just wanted to remind everyone of that. That's what's always been at the forefront. It's the epitome of what a Wiesbrook Tiger symbolizes and is about. And I assure you we'll continue to work on that. We've talked about that all summer on our 3 reopening teams that we have at Wiesbrook. So we're going to leave the classroom now, walk back out into the 5th grade hallway, and we're actually going to go outside. There's a couple pieces outside that I want to highlight for you to things that we're going to do to ensure kids are safe, but they're also getting some breaks throughout the day along with our staff. So follow me out the door.
Maybe we'll just take 1 second and we can ask her to, she might.
Yeah, let me go ask her. Our custodian, part of our cleaning processes, is down there cleaning, but it's loud. So I'm going to ask after this to shut off the vacuum. Just turn off just for a couple of minutes. Gracias. Thank you. But hopefully you can see too that this is an example that our facility services have been hard at work throughout the summer. District 200 facilities look great. They're clean. They're ready to go. And so this is just another example of that. But let's go outside. For those of you that may be new to Wiesbrook, this is door 10. This is by our staff parking lot. So this is where staff would enter each and every day for the beginning of school.
Only going to be bumpy for a minute.
Are you going to pick that up or what are you going to do?
I'm going to keep it on the cart.
Keep it on the cart?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
You want me to talk from here?
Yeah.
Okay, so behind me, again, if you're new to Wiesbrook, this is our green space. We're very fortunate to have a very large green space at Wiesbrook going around our building. Right out here behind me, we're going to have 2 tents. They're 20 by 40 tents. One will actually be here, right where I'm pointing, right outside the ball field. Another one is going to be down behind the basketball courts. Those tents are going to be used for what we're calling their mask breaks, but we're calling them a show your smiles breaks. And since I'm outside, I can now take off my mask. So once we're outside, students and staff will be able to take off their masks. We'll still appropriately socially distance by 6 feet, but they'll have roughly 2 to 3 show your smiles or mask breaks per day. We are actually identifying schedules and locations for those mask breaks. Tents will have to be signed up for. We're going to use a Google Doc so staff don't conflict at times when their class wants to go out and be, cool and under one of the tents. But for those parents who are returning to Wiesbrook, you know that Wiesbrook has green space that runs all the way around the building. In general, most classrooms will be able to go right outside of their classroom, and that's where their mask break will be. Because we're fortunate to have that green space at Wiesbrook. Just panning over a little bit now, I want to talk just briefly about our pickup and drop-off process. The change is due to really 2 factors. Number one, to ensure that when students are dropped off, that they can appropriately socially distance, because when students are dropped off, they will no longer stand outside of grade level doors and wait like we've done in the past. They will go to their assigned grade level doors, enter right in the building and enter right into the classroom, sanitize their hands, and get ready for learning for the day. The bus drop off and then after school when they pick up and when they go home. So that won't be a big change except for the location. The car pickup and drop off will run along here on Durfee. We're going to have a staging area. The staging area is where the buses used to be. So if you can imagine the stop sign down on Durfee and Seneca, all the way up to the parking lot, we'll stage. We can fit approximately 14 to 15 cars. It'll be staffed by about 7 staff members per day. The rest of the cars are going to run from the parking lot all the way up past Hope Church towards Wiesbrook Road. And we're going to ask that you have signs in your cars with your name on it that'll be used for after school. We'll actually have staff out there that will read your name and call in on the radio. We'll call them over the PA, and that'll release kids. We'll be staging those cars 15 at a time. We do have a video that will be coming out to you that our staff has created, and some of our PTA members and their children have participated in. We did a dry run on this, and it went very well. And we'll be pushing that out to you later in the week or early next week or maybe next Friday. Look for your Friday Facts. If you're new to Wiesbrook, Friday Facts is every Friday. It's a weekly newsletter and email that comes out from the PTA with a lot of important information on it. We use that to communicate a lot of our school information. Also look on the PTA Facebook page. We'll be pushing out information from that along with newsletters from myself. But if you're new to Wiesbrook, I do rely heavily on one, PTA Friday Facts, since it's a weekly newsletter and our PTA does a fantastic job of pushing out all school-related information. And two, the PTA Facebook page, which they use to update information almost on a daily basis, along with your classroom teachers, their Instagram pages, their newsletters, et cetera, too. So the pickup and drop off, that is a change at Wiesbrook here that we're going into, again, for 2 reasons. One, to ensure students can be in a controlled, safe situation, safely social distancing before and after school. And number 2, to improve the safety for everyone during that pickup and drop off process. Well, Wiesbrook Tigers, that's it here from our Wiesbrook Live show at Wiesbrook Elementary School. I'm so glad you could join us this morning. If you know people who couldn't join us this morning, please reassure them that this is a recorded session and it will be on our Wiesbrook Facebook page so they can watch it at any time and see and receive the same information you do. Again, I can't tell you how thrilled and excited we are to bring our students back to live learning and to rejoin our Wiesbrook community and celebrate the opening of school as we do each and every year. So great to see everyone. Have a wonderful day. Students, we miss you and we look forward to seeing you here very soon. Bye-bye.